Good morning, Year 3. It's Mr. Davey here with your final English lesson of the week. Yes, it's been another hard-working week where you have had to think about your writing, and today you're going to bring together the different skills that you've been learning about, commas, adjectives, nouns, and so on, and you're going to be writing some character descriptions. So what I would like you to do is open your English book to a fresh, clean page. Write today's date, Friday the 15th of January. Character descriptions is your title and your WILF. And that's where you're going to say whether you did your bronze, silver or gold, or even challenge WILF. So pause here if you need to and get that written into your book. Fabulous, fabulous. Brilliant. Hopefully you've done that. We will move on. Remember, you can pause at any time in the video if you need more time to get something done. So you don't go at the pace that I record this. You do this at the pace that you want to go at, which is great news. Here we go. So what I'm going to be looking for today is, for bronze, being able to write the descriptions using a word bank. Describe a character using adjectives, verbs, and adverbs. Nice. Gold as silver, but describe how the character is feeling or how they behave, which really is their personality. And for challenge, use a thesaurus or to find synonyms for the chosen vocabulary that you've come up with. Now, if you do not have you can use a thesaurus on a computer. If you go to Word on a laptop or whatever you've got that you can use Word on, type in the word that you're thinking of, highlight it, right click, and you can usually find synonyms and it will come up with other words for you. So if you don't have an actual thesaurus book at home like we do in school, don't worry, you can find these things online. Okay, anyway, moving on. So today, your learning powers. You will be being resourcefulness. You will be making links with what you already know. Okay, so making links comes off our resourcefulness branch, or making links, and persevering. To be honest with you, persevering is the main learning power while you're at home doing home learning, because it is a little bit tricky, isn't it? But you can do this, so don't give up. Enjoy doing it if you can. There's worse things going on, so this is good. Okay, so character descriptions. These are the 4 things that you can think about in relation to what you write today. So think about, this is the most obvious and easy one to write about. What does your character look like? Bearing in mind you're doing dragons, so there's all sorts. Your only limit with any kind of description is your imagination. You can go as wild and as imaginative and as crazy as you like with this. Just go for it. So think about what they look like. Think about how they move. Do they just plod? Do they zip along through the air? I mean, I know my class, we were reading the Dragon book. I've forgotten the name of our class book now. That shows how long we've been off. And that had great description of the different scales and of the dragon and the skin they've got and so on. So do just use your imagination. What they feel, how they behave. Okay, so is it a brave dragon? Is it maybe a little slightly scared dragon? Maybe it's kind of like, we always think dragons as big and brave and fierce and fearsome. But maybe it's a slightly timid, slightly nervous, shaky dragon that quakes in its shoes because it gets scared easily. Think about how they behave and where are they. Okay, so again, the setting of where your dragon is. Are they at the top of a mountain, or are they at the bottom of a volcano? Or, again, just use that imagination. So let's have a little look at what we want to achieve in bronze. So if you want to do bronze, you will want to pause in a moment. Okay, I'll tell you when to pause. We're going to think about how to write some sentences. Now you can use multiple adjectives to create a more specific sentence. So instead of just saying, the dragon had blue eyes, you could say, the dragon had big blue eyes. Now remember, you use a comma between your 2 adjectives because it's what is it? Extended noun phrase. Well done, I heard you all shout that. Or you might say large sad eyes. Okay, but if you are using an extended noun phrase, remember the rule. 2 adjectives separated with a comma. Okay, and that makes your extended noun phrase. So you should know that from the work we've done in school. And instead of just saying the dragon was red and yellow, you might talk about a yellow stripy tummy, golden pointy horns, red and yellow pointy tail. Go for it. Do you know what I mean? Don't just write a simple basic sentence. Think about every time you write an adjective, could you add another one? Okay, so for every noun that you come across, what adjective is going to be really good? Okay, and this one looks like quite a friendly dragon. He doesn't look like he's going to be nasty or mean. So you could say the cute, cuddly dragon. I know dragons probably aren't that cuddly, but anyway, imagine maybe he's a soft, fairy dragon. Anyway, so there you go. That's bronze. So if you want to do bronze, go for it. Get that description done. Keep it nice and imaginative, and away you go. Oh, sorry, here's your independent task. Beg your pardon. So what you need to do is add adjectives from the box below. So you've got the box, this is where you're going to pause, to expand these descriptions and write the sentences into your books. Okay, so there's some words that you can choose to put into the spaces here. So this is where you can pause. And yeah, that's quite straightforward. And of course, try and write your own sentence as well. So you've got 4 to do there. Maybe come up with 2 or 3 of your own. Okay, do at least 1 more, but maybe push yourself and see what else you can come up with. Okay, so do the best you can. This is where you press pause. Away you go. Okay, so can you use verbs and adverbs to describe how your character moves? Okay, so we're going to think about blowing and walking. Okay, so blowing is something that a dragon does because it blows out flames. And how does it walk? So let's have a look at a couple of examples. Let's look at the blowing. So breathing fire, blowing hot air. Okay. You could make that an extended noun phrase as well. Breathing hot, burning fire. Okay, so you can transform these sentences even more. Okay, so don't be afraid to do that. And then for walking, some of the sort of words that would be good for walking. These are synonyms. No, they're not all synonyms. You've got chasing, running, catching, clawing. Okay, how does your dragon move? Okay, maybe it's chasing you through a valley like on Jurassic Park. And instead of dinosaurs, it's an island full of dragons. That'd be quite cool. Well, it wouldn't be, because obviously I wouldn't want to be getting chased by dragons in a deserted island. Anyway, catching, clawing. How else could you describe these? Okay, so what you could say is the disgusting, scaly and green dragon quickly blew his hot fire breath towards his prey. He rapidly swung his sharp, pointed claws at the smaller dragon. Okay, so rapidly, quickly, there's your adverbs, okay? Sharp, pointed, there's your adjectives for claws. Smaller for the dragon, another adjective there. And here we've got our extended noun phrase as well. So just really go for it. Think about how, every time you write a verb, think about how is that verb being done. And that's when you add your adverb. In the same way that when you come to a noun, like breath, what description could you add to it? Okay, so remember, before a verb, add your adverb, because you're adding to the verb, and before your noun, think about the adjectives for that noun. Okay, so away you go, Silvers. Pause here. Don't pause here, pause here. You need to use the adjectives, verbs, and adverbs in here to describe your dragon. Write at least 4 sentences in your book. Okay, so you need to look at all these words. There's lots of different words here. There's verbs, adverbs, adjectives. So you've got, this is a complete mixture of word groups. Okay, you just need to use these to help you write your sentences. Okay, and you need to come up with at least 4. Don't be limited to just what's in this box. You can think of more. Okay, but the example given from what we found here is quickly, the disgusting, slimy dragon grabbed the tiny dragon. Okay, so again, quickly has been used. It's there, look, quickly. Disgusting. That should be in there. There it is. There's oops, don't want to move that. There's disgusting. Slimy is there. Grabbed is there. And tiny is there. So you've got lots of opportunities here to mix the words up to create your sentences. Try to keep a bit of logic in there. Don't come up. Do always read back your sentence and think, well, actually, much as it's imaginative, does it still kind of make sense? Okay. But anyway, have a go at that. You can come up with 4 sentences at least. That's the minimum. So you can come up with 5 or 6. Push the boat out. It's Friday. And that's your work, Silver. So if you want to pause here, keep this on your screen, pause it, get writing, away you go. And a brain break. Sing the alphabet whilst doing squats. A, B, C. I'm not doing that. You can do that. I'm going to carry on with the video because I don't want to make this longer than it needs to be. And finally, gold. Your input is this. Now, you're going to make sure that you include what they feel, how they behave, and where they are. So the sly, wicked dragon was annoyed by his hunting failure and sat quietly, hunched over the river's edge. He grunted angrily, then stomped his foot on the ground. Slowly, he stood up with a wicked grin on his face and flew up as quick as a flash into the dark sky. So, where are they? Well, they're at a river's edge, and then they go off into the dark sky. So that's very simple to do, adding the information about where they are. It's literally just a few words. It doesn't need to be hugely detailed, but it does give you a picture of the setting. How do they behave? Well, grunted angrily. Ooh, he's a moody dragon, this one. He's sly and wicked, okay? How they feel, he's annoyed. We can sense that, can't we? Because he's annoyed. It says he's annoyed by his hunting failure. But then, he's got a wicked grin. Says quick as a flash. How they behave, quick as a flash. So he's wanting to get on and make up for his hunting failure. So there's loads there to include. So what you need to do is write your own sentences to describe how your character is feeling or behaving. What you need to do is write 5 sentences, and then for a challenge, if you fancy it, choose 5 words. And I would probably go with either adjectives or verbs, okay? For discovering synonyms that you could use instead. Okay, so for example, you don't have to talk about walking down the street. You could be jogging down the street, or you could be sliding down the street. That's a bit crazy. Maybe it was icy, but yeah, I would always look for your adjectives. They're the easiest words to change, and use a thesaurus if you can. Okay, now what all of you need to try and do is to be able to tick off your toolkit. So if you think you were able to use adjectives to describe, ching, you hit bronze. If you think you were able to use verbs and adverbs to describe how the character behaves, ka-ching, you can tick it off. And gold, you can tick it off if you achieved writing about how the character is feeling and what type of personality they have. So, well done everybody. You got there. Have a great weekend. You deserve a rest. And to play you out for the weekend, just for you, gonna turn up the volume. Here you go. Have a little listen. Whoa. Not to that. Great.
Things have been a little different for us all. Gotcha. Doing things differently.
Here's a tune to play you out.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally. Come on, like the way we rock it, so don't stop. It's under the lights when everything goes. Nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine, just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel the good creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. Come on, all those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. There ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. I can't stop the feeling, so just dance, dance, dance. I can't stop the feeling, so just dance, dance, dance. Come on. Ooh, it's something magical. It's in the air, it's in my blood, it's rushing on. I don't need no reason, don't be control. I fly so high, no ceiling when I'm in my zone. Cause I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally. Come on, like the way we rock it, so don't stop, stop, stop. Under the lights when everything